Hey, quickly before we get into the video, I quickly wanted to share some news about the Signal/Premium group we have. Because over the last couple of weeks, going into the summer, but also the rest of the year, we have started drawing up some plans for spot accumulation of coins like Bitcoin, XRP, but also Solana. So for example, how we started was buying Bitcoin. We actually had limits right here from 100,000 into 98,000. Went in big, are making a lot of profit right now. So if you're interested in spot accumulation plans like that, outside of future signals, consider joining. But that's it for now. Just wanted to let you know about that. And now let's get into the video. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Welcome to this new video on Bitcoin, your daily update. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're having a great week so far. And welcome this Friday morning on a complete video right here on Bitcoin. I have pretty clear thoughts on Bitcoin right now. Do I have a clear bias? No, but we'll get to that a little bit later. And I also don't think that's necessarily needed here. Because what I think is that a breakout is coming for Bitcoin, right? And I should, I should add some context to that. In the sense that, what we're doing right now and what we have been doing for the last 2.5 days or so is we've been consolidating right here. As you can see in this area, it's a very tight area between 108,000 and let's say 106,500, 106,400. And that is just below the value area high of the major range that Bitcoin is in right now. And basically what's going to happen when you get a consolidation like this is at some point of time, whether that's technical driven on this Friday, whether we are going to see some de-risking, right, which sometimes happens, or whether it's fundamental driven. I mean, there's some major deadlines coming up, of course, for trade deals and tariffs. At the start of July, we don't know, but ultimately I do think that breakout is coming, and with the breakout there's opportunities, because if you take a look at the price of Bitcoin right now, it's just completely choppy, right? I mean, there's sure. I mean, maybe if you're a scalper and you're trading the 15-minute time frame, this was heaven, right? So because you can see that Bitcoin bounced between these areas right here at 106.8 and 108 perfectly. But ultimately, if you're more of an intraday trader or swing trader like me, we're waiting for the breakout. So yeah, that in that sense, the breakout is coming, and then based on that breakout, we have some areas that I think are interesting, and we'll speak about that. But first of all, I wanted to do a brief overview of the fundamentals, because the fundamentals right now, when we're talking about the general stock market, it's doing quite well. You can see the S&P 500 has been grinding up right here, which is great to see, but this was also the case yesterday, right? So this has basically continued in these relatively good market circumstances, where gold and the volatility index continue to drop down, right? So it seems like the markets are as stable as they were, for example, in the middle of February here. So that's good news, and those are the optimal circumstances for the S&P 500 to grind up higher. We are at a major resistance level though, and that is something we do need to be aware of. And like I said, there's these other fundamentals that can cause some disruptions. For example, also today with the core PCE and PCE price index data. All right, so this is basically inflation rate data, and given everything that the Federal Reserve has said this week about tariffs and what type of inflation they can cause, data like this is very important, right? Because data like this determines whether we are going to get a rate cut in July, whether we're going to get a rate cut in September, and how many rate cuts we're going to get in 2025, which in turn is very important for the general financial markets. So this is going to be major. I will try to put out a video as soon as this data is out. So we can talk about the markets and what we can expect from that, but this is going to matter, and this could also cause that breakout, right? Because like I said, I don't really have a major bias towards getting a bullish breakout or a bearish breakout. I think in both scenarios there's opportunities. I mean, if we get a bearish breakdown, so if we drop down below 106.4, the main areas where I would be looking at is either 105.5 for a really aggressive buy, or 103.6 for a conservative buy. And if we get a breakout to the upside, I'm looking at that level between 109.5 and 110 for a potential short. Because I said this before as well, but I do not expect that the upside of the range, which is towards 110, 108, I don't think that's going to break. Right. So ultimately, do I think we're going to pull back? Yes. However, short term, that doesn't really matter. Short term, it's better to focus on that low time frame breakout, break above 108, and we're going up to that level at 109, 110, and then from there I think we'll reject, break down below 106.4, and we're dropping down to one of these two levels right here, depending on, I would argue, the fundamentals, right? So that is something that you have to keep an eye on as well. And then from there, I also do think we'll bounce, because I mean, even it's less relevant at these prices, but I also don't expect a bearish breakdown. So those are my thoughts, and like I said, it's very much going to depend on potential news coming in today, or the PCE price index data coming out today. I'll keep you updated on that, but hopefully for now that helps. Hopefully it's valuable for all of you. Have a great day, have a great weekend in advance, and bye.